So I'm just going to ignore him. I'm going to hold the ball here. Good boy. And I want him to make that decision of, oh, well, instead of kicking the door, I'm going to touch the target. This is a bit of an experimental video today, in the sense that I'm not quite sure what the outcome is going to be. So every single yard has got at least one horse that kicks the stable door. Sunny is our door kicker, and he kicks the gate and the fence and everything like that. He lives out 24/7. He only comes in, he's going to be ridden or whatever, I'll bring him in for a little bit, or if in the summer, maybe during the day, they come in for a small amount of time as well. He lives with friends, he's not on his own. They have ad lib hay, like this time of year they'll start having hay soon, and in the summer they've got, you know, in a reasonable way, as much as they need. So he's got no reason to kick the door through sort of stress or anxiety or anything like that. If your horse is in for sort of 23 hours of the day and they kick the door, then that's maybe the reason why, and this, what I'm going to do today, probably isn't going to help. You need to look at the wider range of things as to why they're doing that. But think about the environment that they're in, and if that's causing them to kick the door. A lot of horses that kick the door through reasons that aren't stress related is because we've unintentionally conditioned them to do that. And what I mean by that is that on a yard in general, whoever kicks the door gets fed first, or might get let out first, because you don't want them to kick the door. So they start to put two and two together in, I kick the door, I get my food, or I kick the door, I get to go out and see my friends or whatever, or I kick the door, I get some hay thrown at me, or even I kick the door, I get shouted at, which you might think that they might not want, but it's still attention of some sort, so they're still getting something out of it, even though it's negative. Basically, what I want to look at today is trying to move his behaviour from kicking the door to eventually touching a ball instead, so that he's still allowed to express himself, but in a way that's not going to damage the door or himself, but also he's not getting punished for doing it. What I'm going to do is, I've got the tennis ball, which I'm going to go get in a minute, and Sunny knows target training anyway, so the step I'm going to start with is just teaching him to touch the tennis ball, same as he would do with his target. I'm going to stay over the door in protected contact, and he may get a little bit frustrated, so he may start to kick the door, which actually works in our favour, because I want him to learn that kicking the door doesn't get him anything, but touching the tennis ball does, and then build on that. So this isn't going to obviously be done all today, but week by week, you know, maybe in a month's time, so it depends how often I manage to do it with him. It could be 6 weeks, it could be 2 months. I'm hoping that I'll have been able to eliminate him kicking the door in here, and he'll touch his little tennis ball, which I'm going to hang up in front of the door instead. So it'll be an ongoing video. So I'm just going to hold it nice and close. Good boy. And every time he touches it, obviously I'm going to give him some food. So being in protected contact as well means that if he starts getting a little bit nibbly, because he can be quite good boy. I don't know why I'm doing that at you. I don't want to do that noise. He can get a bit too excited sometimes. Touch the ball. Good boy. So it means I can take a step back, and he's not going to get in my space. Good boy. So he knows, he understands touching things anyway. So if your horse doesn't, then go and find some videos on target training and go from there. But you can start with a tennis ball. You don't have to start with. Ooh. Touch. Touch. Good boy. You don't have to start with a proper target or anything like that. If this is what you're going to use, and this is the only thing you're going to use it for. So he's getting a bit confused now. just going to ignore him. I'm going to hold the ball here. Good boy. And I want him to make that decision of, oh well, instead of kicking the door, I'm going to touch the target. Good boy. And that was because I'd stopped doing what I was doing. I was talking. He didn't have any attention. He obviously wants to get the food. What do I know that gets me food or gets me fed or gets me attention? I know I'll kick the door. Good boy. Touch. Good boy. Touch. Good boy. I'm going to try it in different places as well. Just say, if it's your first time doing targeting with them, then you're probably not going to maybe get to the point of putting it in different places. You want to keep it as simple as possible. But as I said, he loves targeting a little bit too much sometimes, so he's familiar with the principle. Doesn't always mean it'll go right though. Good boy. Right, yeah. I'm going to hang it very high for you, haven't I? Good. So I was going to hang it on the door, but actually I might be better off putting it sort of here or something. Good boy. Boy. So I'm going to leave him a second, and as I said, I'm going to almost encourage him to kick the door, which sounds a bit counterproductive, but I need him to understand that I don't just want him to touch the ball. I want him to touch the ball instead of doing this. Good boy. So I'm going to leave the ball here now. He's looking away. Where is it? Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. So he stopped kicking then and made the decision of, oh, I know what I'll do. I'll touch the ball instead. Good boy. Oh, thank you. The next step will be me being able to have this attached here. Take it away a minute. Have it attached there and be able to go and do things and him decide when I'm not stood there that he's going to kick the door. So it would mean hanging around on the yard and doing bits and pieces like I did a minute ago, but being prepared to see if he's touching the ball that he needs to have a treat. But you don't want to get into the thing of teaching him that whenever he wants a sweet he touches the ball, because you don't want to be in there all the time. He needs to lie down and have some food and have a drink and bits and pieces like that. So even just doing what I'm doing now, that I've taken it away and he's gone back to eating. Good boy. So it's remembering to reward sometimes just those moments where he's nice and relaxed and he's not thinking about doing anything. So that'll be my next step. I'll find a way to attach this somewhere and see how he is without me being stood here as sort of a treat dispenser. And if it's ignoring when he kicks the door, completely ignoring, but keeping an eye on him for if he makes the decision to touch the ball instead. Some horses are going to take longer than others. Some he may take longer to get it because he's trying to do too many other things. This is a good start. We've had a couple of kicks in the door and he's sort of managed to refocus himself, as it were. Touch. It's here. Touch. Good boy. So I'm going to leave it there for today and give him what I've got left in my bum bag in his hay. So take each day as it comes. You might have to go back a few steps. But yeah, I'm going to leave that now for today, and we'll fast forward then to when I do it this next with him in a few days' time. Hopefully I'll have secured the ball on somewhere. Good boy, and we were looking at it, and we can see how we're getting on. See, it's just simple targeting at this stage, which is not too difficult to teach them, but it's the redirecting that's going to be hard for him. So we'll see where we are next time.